Ladies and gentlemen, this interview is brought to you by Burn Up Coaching, the 21-day challenge. If you're an entrepreneur, high achiever, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling exhausted, tired, not connected to your purpose and your passion, then this is exactly what will get you fired up and back on track into your GPS. 21 days, you'll design your dream life. You'll be able to break it down into bite-sized steps. You'll dial in your daily habits and routines. And while we don't promise you the world, what we do promise is that you'll take massive freaking action towards your top priority, your top goal over 21 days. And you will be so proud of yourself because you'll build a habit of celebration. You'll build a habit of doing whatever it takes, as long as it takes, to be able to start seeing those massive results that you're looking for. Okay. So that's our commitment to you. If you're ready for the 21-day challenge, send me an email, chris@beyourgps.com, or find me on Facebook and message me there. Look forward to hearing from you and what your 21-day challenge goal is and helping you achieve it. Super stoked. Next is the iTunes review of the week. It's by Miss Cynthia Sundance. And Cynthia says, Chris Burns goes deep for you. Chris Burns' sincere and authentic interviewing style is awesome for both his tribe and his guests. He makes sure each deep, juicy conversation is full of enticing insights, stories, tips, and ideas. Thanks, Chris, for showing up, highlighting your guests, and guiding your tribe, because it takes a village for each of us to get up each day and share our gifts as entrepreneurs. We all resonate with different folks. We appreciate your dedication. Thanks so much, Cynthia. I appreciate you. If you're out there listening, you want to give us some feedback, give us some encouragement, do us a big favor, and dive in to even more depth. Help us grow. Help us reach more people. Give us a review. Go to beyourgps.com/iTunes or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes store. Good or good? Very good. Thank you in advance for doing that. Next is going to be the introduction of this amazing human being. I met him a few short weeks ago, and right off the bat, I just knew he had a huge heart. He's a passionate leader, and this dude is a rock of power. You know, I could just tell he was solid. He does martial arts training. He's just a beast. He's just an incredible, inspirational dude, overcome some serious challenges. I'm going to bring Gerald on in just a minute here. Before I do, though, I really want to acknowledge you to stay tuned, to stay tuned all the way through, to stay till the end, because you never know what one idea could change and transform the rest of your life. So really stay tuned, stay here, take notes, grab a pen and paper, and just really be here, because Coach G is about to drop some fire on your face. Get stoked, because he is an absolute powerhouse. Coach G from San Diego, at the age of 8, was labeled dumb and diagnosed with a learning disability. He has literally spent his whole life making the label his inspiration behind finding purpose in life, exercising his strength in business, and fostering the love for connecting with others in relationships as the key to the realization that he is smart. It's about breaking down labels to bring out your own genius within. There should be only one label, and that is the human label. He's been successful as a businessman for over 30 years, but now it's time to use his genius EQ and create a social impact movement. Giving back to all the kids in special education, changing the world one kid at a time. Coach G, unlocking your genius. And oh my gosh, we're absolutely blessed today, ladies and gentlemen. Coach G, man, are you ready to rock the house? Are you ready to bring the fire? Are you ready to bring the heat? Are you ready to really step it up, step into your GPS, and add some massive value for our audience here today, man? Are we ready to do that, brother?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Awesome,
dude.
Let's
do it.
We're now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for showing up and dedicating your time and your heart to give back to our audience, to really help us grow into our greatest possible self and really inspire us with your story, man, because I know you've overcome some serious challenges, and we're going to be diving into that today. But really, first off, thanks for being here, man.
No, thank you. And I just want to let everybody know that, no, you're not seeing double. Chris found his long lost dad over here.
That's right, man.
Don't put down the alcohol. You guys aren't seeing double. They're actually two different people.
I love it. I love it, man. That's so
Good, good.
awesome. So, dude, you have a great sense of humor, and I'm gonna laugh. We're gonna be laughing this whole interview because we have a lot of similarities, both in looks and in mentality, overcoming obstacles. Whatever it takes. So, let's dive right into the theme of the day today, which is how to increase your influence, man. So, Coach G, what does influence mean to you, and how would you say you increase that? How do you grow that?
Influence means to me is that uh, changing people's lives,
Mm,
changing cultures, changing history, man.
mm,
If you go back in history and all the people that have done successful things and just changed history,
yeah.
changed lives, man, and it just influence. You can go back to presidents, you can go back to
Mm,
kings, you can go back to influence of today.
yeah.
Some of them out there now, like the late great Zig Ziglar,
Yeah.
in the speaking realm, you know, influencing people, and it's just amazing thing to me that's what it is to me, man.
Dude, it's like when you're leaving a serious legacy, influence is like that currency. How much do you influence these people? How much do you actually make a difference in their life? How much do they change their actions on a daily basis, on a yearly basis, in a lifetime, because of those actions that you took, because of how you contributed to them, how you were generous with your wisdom, with your service, with your energy. And I think you hit it right on the nail, the head, because like it's the people who are able to influence, they build up that like currency, so to speak, of impacting people one day at a time, one life at a time, one action at a time, man.
Yes, you got it. It's nothing better than when you influence somebody and you change somebody's life, and they
Mm,
come back and tell you, man, that thing you said or that thing that
yeah.
you helped me out with, man, is just so powerful when they come back to you and say thank you very much for that one
Mm,
word or that one comment that you might have made, or that one, just a letter that you sent to them, or an
yeah.
email or something. It just there's nothing better than that, and
Mm,
that's my whole point of doing what I do. I've been in hotel, restaurant, and the travel industry for over 30 years, and
wow.
I've developed and trained so many managers and
Mm,
employees, and just to have them, I still have people calling me that I've worked with 30 years ago, man, and still like,
dang.
man, miss you so much because of the
Wow.
impact that you made in my life when you were at the branch, or where you were my
Mm,
managers. That's what it's about, man. It's not about the money. It's not about any of that kind of stuff. It's that
mm,
one person that says
mm.
you made a difference in my life.
Wow, that's powerful, man. So I want to get into, first off, like who you are today, what people come to you for. You mentioned a little bit about the hotel restaurant management, and I know you're creating this speaking career and impacting people's lives in a big way like that, and to really draw out our genius. I love that you're wearing the shirt like that totally celebrates it. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. It's awesome. So like tell us a little bit more about what people come to you for today, and about that genius, finding your genius. Just an overview. We'll get into it more and get into the story more, but just like an overview of what that means to you.
What it means to me is, when I was growing up, I was diagnosed with a learning disability, and
Mm,
teased about not being able to read and write and do math and comprehend basic, what you would call education in school.
yeah.
And it took many years, for me, into my adulthood, to figure out that the school system to me is broken,
Mm,
that they judge people by A's and B's, and if you don't get A's and B's, you're not going to be successful in life. And that's a shame that there's so many kids out there that grow up and they have that mentality, because that's what they were taught growing up, that if you're going to get C's and D's, you might as well hang it up. You're going to be digging a ditch the rest of your life or flipping burgers. And that's what was
mm,
told to me. And I just found out that that there's your genius doesn't mean academics,
mm,
and genius can be anything. It could be music, which I was in school. I was in band and choir, and it could be sports. I'm a huge athlete. I play just about every kind of sports. I do martial arts. I play on adult baseball team. I've played on 3-on-3 basketball tournaments in
mm,
my late 30s and 40s, and I continue to play. And it can be art. It could be any of those things. And people think IQ, and they think genius as just
Mm.
being Einstein, you know what I mean, and
Right.
being a rocket science or a doctor or a lawyer. It's not about that. There's people out there that have such genius in them, but because the stigma of genius is IQ,
Right.
they don't know.
Mm.
And that's what I want to do. I want to let people know, you have a genius inside of you. Every single
Mm.
person was born with a genius in them,
Mhm.
and the genius is your talent. I
Yeah.
just call it genius, but it's your talent, it's your
Yeah.
gift, it's your God-given gift, and I truly believe everybody has a God-given gift.
You know what I really love about this definition is I feel it's more accurate and more empowering because I think at some point society made the definition of genius to be good academically, to be good, quote unquote, in school, in the school system, the education system. And I think we're all seeing the prize, the booby prize, so to speak, that comes with being a successful academician. I don't know how to say the word, but someone who's good at the
Right.
academics, right? Because that's not the priority. That's not the thing that matters. What matters is really using your gifts. What matters is how are you resourceful? How do you create
Right.
results in reality? How do you connect with people? How do you uplift them? How do you leave a mark on their life? How do you influence them? That's real genius. Not this
Yes.
like, hey, are you scoring 100%? Are you getting A pluses? No, that doesn't like translate to real world results. What translates is like really staying in your genius zone, in your gifts, to be able to live a fulfilling life.
And you're right. That's what hurts both the kids that are told that you're not going to succeed because of your grades, and then the
Mm,
kids are told you're going to succeed because of your grades. And
right.
then when they get to adulthood, those kids that are go to college and they come out of college and they're like, well, where's the job? Where's the
Mm,
$100,000 a year job that I
yeah,
was promised because I get all these A's and B's and I
that's
was
right.
an honor roll student, all these things. And you've seen so many of them that they're A's and B's honor roll students and they
Mm,
don't accomplish nothing in life. They don't change
mm,
nobody's life. They don't
yeah.
make an impact on anybody or on society. And
Mm,
that's what's sad because it goes both ways, man. It goes both ways that people make an impact.
mm,
These you can go to almost any. You can look at these top guys that are out
mm,
there, top speakers that are out there, top coaches, top
yeah.
influencers, and most of them either dropped out of high school, dropped out of college. They
Mm,
didn't get very good grades. They hire the A and B students, and I do the same thing. I hire people and I work with people that are smarter than me
yeah.
because they make me look smart. So
Mm,
and that's the whole thing. It's that everything's backwards, and people push these C D students aside,
mm,
and they grow up and bring that into their jobs. They bring that
yeah.
into their relationships, and they think, well, I'm not good enough to get a good career to support a family. That
There's
male or
shame. There's
female,
shame.
yes,
There's
there's shame.
guilt. Yeah.
There's shame.
Yeah.
That male or female may not like me because
Yeah.
I'm dumb, I'm stupid. I was told that all my life. So it's really sad. But it goes both ways. The ones that
Yeah.
are put on a pedestal, when they realize, oh crap,
Mm,
things aren't turning out the way people told me it was going to turn out,
yeah. Yeah,
and you
man.
can see that all over the place.
Yeah, 100%. And Coach G, we got some awesome people in the audience. We got Steven Dela Cruz who said, Coach G, boom. We got Leandro. What's up, man? We got Tamara, Linan, Coach G. Hashtag put your action where your hashtag is. You both are fire. Thanks so much, Tamara. You rock. And we got Darian Chem out there as well. Welcome, everyone. If you have any questions for Coach G, make sure you drop them in the comments or, just let us know what you're loving most about this interview throughout the process. Highlight that. We appreciate you tuning in. And Coach G, I want to go back into your journey a little bit more because like that is a super important part of why you do what you do. And you highlighted a bit, but I just really want to go back there and get the wisdom that you picked up along every stage because man, you've been making impacts in people's lives for the last 30 years. But how did you even get to that point? How did you even become a leader and someone who makes that difference in people's lives at that point 30 years ago? So let's go back even before that when you were dealing with these challenges and the learning disability that was might have seemed like a burden back then, but really strengthened you into the incredible powerhouse and influencer and leader that you are today. Let's go back there, man. What did you learn?
You got it. You got it. I mean, that's I am the man I am today because of that. Way back in high school, actually in junior high school, is when they really diagnosed me with a
Mm,
learning disability, and they just stuck me in high school, what's called the RSP, special resource classes and special ed.
Mhm.
And I had friends, a lot of friends. I was in music and band, and in music and band, I felt I was the man. You know what I
Right.
mean? I was in there. The girls liked me, the guys liked me,
Yeah.
and because nobody knew my learning disability, and I
Mm.
was able to fake it in there. And then when we go to regular classes, the smart kids would go to their class, and I'd go
Mm.
to my special ed class. But of course, I'd tell, no, I'm not in your English. I'm in a different English. And none of my friends really knew. I kind
Wow.
of hid it, I hid
Oh,
it from
yeah.
them
Yeah.
because I was ashamed of it
Mm.
and scared of what people, because I already got teased in grade school, junior high
Yeah.
school, and I kind of tried to hide it in high school, and hardly any of my friends knew it.
Mm.
And but in music and in baseball, I was on the baseball team too. I felt like the man, it was because I felt comfortable.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it was me. I can be myself.
Right.
And I was scared to be myself in regular classes.
Mm.
The craziest thing that happened to me was my senior year. Gentleman came from the county to offer to send the RSP special ed students to college.
Right.
And he was like, we'll pay for your college. And if you guys want to go through this program. And I was like, so I signed up. I said, I'll do it. Let
Right.
me go. I didn't think I was going to go to college anyways. It's not smart enough.
Right.
If you're going to pay for it, I'll do it. So
Right.
I went to him and said, I'll do it. He proceeds to tell me that I'm too stupid to go to college. Literally, this guy that offered to send me to college basically tells me in my face, young man, you're too stupid to go to college. You're in special ed. You're probably going to fail. You're going to drop out of college because most of the kids that we send through this program don't make it. You're going to drop out. But sir, if you want to go, we'll send you. So I went home crying to my mom and dad, and I told them, this guy basically told me I'm too stupid to go to college,
Wow.
and he wants to pay for it, but I might as well not go because I'm going to drop out. And my dad looks at me and goes, "You mean to tell me this guy is going to pay for your college and you're not going to do it? Then you are stupid." So the light bulb went off in my head. I was like, oh, that's right. So I
Wow.
took him on his offer. I ended
Yeah.
up going to college. I ended up being an AB student in college. Go
Wow.
figure. I
Wow.
don't know how that happened, but I think what I figured out, that's when I figured out your genius, right?
Mm.
Your gift, what you're good at, what excites you. I loved to cook with my mom when I was a kid growing up, and I took home ec in high school, and I was also a short order cook in the teachers lounge for the teachers. So I really enjoyed that. So I said, oh, I'm gonna go be a chef.
Hmm.
So that's what I went to school for.
Wow.
And I went to a junior college, and I was taking the hotel restaurant management courses and math and English and all the other stuff that you had to take. And I was doing great. I was thriving because it was something I really, really wanted to do. And I found some mentors that really, and that's a key too.
Yeah.
You got to have mentors out there. You got to have mentors that give you that boost. And that's where I just figured out it's your genius. That's the key.
Hmm.
Is like when you find out what you're passionate about, that turns on something different in you.
Hmm.
When you're in math and English and you're told you can't read, you can't write, then you don't try, right? You don't try. You don't want to read a book. You don't want to get up in front of class and have to do a problem on the board.
Right.
And so you're scared to do it. And it's the craziest thing. I'm a public speaker now.
Mm-hmm.
I love to speak in front of a crowd, and I thrive on it. But
Yeah.
man, 30 years ago, there's no way in hell you would get me up in front of a classroom and try to speak. No way. I hid
Right.
in the back. Wouldn't raise my hand. Please don't
Yep.
call on me. Please don't call on me, teacher.
Yep.
And now I sit in the front anytime I'm in a seminar or class or
Yep.
anything.
All the way, front row, best row.
When they're like, "You want to speak?" Boom, my hand goes up first,
Yep.
and it's the craziest thing, and it's all because I found the passion, which
Mm.
was cooking and things like that,
Mm.
and then I found a passion of wanting to get my message out there and speak and change people's lives.
Mm.
And that's what I want to do. My kids are growing. I have grandkids. Everybody's out of the house now. It's me time and change people's lives, and I just want to get out there and do that. And it was the craziest thing to really not even think of going to college, and then going in and actually
Rocking it.
getting my degree, graduating and stuff.
Yeah.
It was awesome. First one in my family, by the way.
Wow.
I have 3 older brothers, a sister, and 2 older brothers, a sister, and a younger brother. And I was the first one to go to college. My youngest brother ended up going to college, and he's a school teacher. He's the smart one in the family.
Right, right, right.
Or
You know,
academics.
it's so funny because like I was considered smart, you know, got A's and B's, got above a 4.0 average because of AP classes in high school, and I got my electrical engineering degree, but I like felt like I was so afraid of what people thought because I was all about people pleasing. I was all about getting the right grades. I was all about doing it right. And I felt like that was such a detriment to me in the entrepreneurial journey because I was like so caught up with like the numbers and so caught up of looking good and you know being impressive with that aspect and I felt like I struggled for a lot of years just to not care what people think, and that was like a huge burden on me. So you know, kudos to you, man. I think we all have our own paths to go through to like challenge ourselves, and this was like one where someone said, "Hey, you know, like you're dumb, and you know, like here, like I don't care." You said I don't care, and you said I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to go to college, and like I don't care what
Yeah.
you think. And you really built up that thickness and that resilience early on. And now look at you, man. Like you're sitting in the front. You're like getting all these opportunities to speak and be interviewed. It's like don't listen to what other people think, what they try to put you down for, or what they you know try to judge you for. It's like you get to create who you are. You get to say who you are in the world. And I love that you've totally taken that and just ran with it, man.
Yeah, with that guy, that guy is probably the one that set me off. And
Yeah,
ever since that day, I've always said, please tell me I can't do something, because
yeah,
that fires me up. I
yeah.
love it when somebody tells me that I can't do something. I mean, oh, I just love it because I want to prove people wrong. In my
Mm.
whole 30-year career and everything I do, you know, when I go into a new branch and they say you can't make money, you can't, oh, boom, I'm number one in the company. And it's like,
Yeah.
you can't do this. And like, you know, I go on a basketball court and these guys are bigger and younger than me and they see this short little white dude come out there and I'm like, and they start laughing. I'm like, okay. And then they walk off crying. And I'm like, yep, you're right, because I love it, dude. I just love it. It fires me up when people
Yeah.
tell me. And I think it started with that day that guy
Wow.
told me, you know, you're too stupid, you're too this, you're too that, you're never going to succeed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wish I would have kept his name and went back to him and said, boom, dude, here it is. And in your face, you know. I don't know if that was a tactic of his, you know, to do on purpose, you know, fire
Hey.
people up.
Hey.
It worked. It worked with me, man, because even to today, I still love it. I mean,
No.
like I told you, I'm in martial arts, and
Yeah.
I've been in four amateur kickboxing matches at local casinos. I fought in Pollock, Pachanga,
Wow.
Agua Caliente, and everybody's been much younger than me. The oldest was about 7 years younger than me, and the youngest was 20 years younger than me, more than
Dang.
20 years younger than me. And I just love it, man. When people tell me I can't do something, and it just fires me up, dude. Fires me up. I love it.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So tell us more about like this curriculum that you're going into schools and teaching these kids about, man. Like teaching the special the learning disability kids
Especially,
with learning
yeah,
disabilities, special ed. You know, tell us a little bit more about what you're teaching, what you're focusing on with them.
you got it. It all started. Actually, I it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and then one of my managers, we were talking one day, Brandon, and hopefully he's watching, and he was kind of like, you know, you should go speak at high schools, go back to your special ed classes, and I was like, that's a great idea.
Mm.
So I was like, so I did. I went back to my high school. Um, what's craziest thing, you know, the limiting beliefs, right, that people
Mhm.
have, and the whole time I'm sitting there going, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Right.
Yeah.
And I was scared. Do I call the school? Do I call the district? What do I do? What do I do? Right. And
Mm.
probably went on for 2, 3 months like this. And I'm at my mom's house, and my wife happens to mention it to my mom. Oh, yeah, Gerald wants to go back and talk to the special ed students at his high school.
Yeah.
And my mom goes, do you know Harrison Cole, which is a family friend of ours, my
Mhm.
parents, is the head of the special ed at Rubidoux High School, which was my high school. I was like,
Wow.
are you freaking kidding me? So
Wow.
law of attraction, right? So I'm like,
Wow.
wait a minute. Harrison Cole, which has been a family friend of ours for years, is the head of the special ed in the high school I went to.
Wow.
So I reached out to him. He got me in, and that's where it started. So I went back to my high school and I did a 45-minute presentation at the high school and blew his mind. And he had 2 or 3 other teachers in there too, and they were all like, "Wow, we've had many speakers, and the kids usually are falling asleep, not engaged." He said, "You had them engaged. You had them answering questions, raising their hand, doing all this stuff." And that's kind of, I was like, boom. I was
Mm.
like, I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what I wanted to do. I was
Yeah.
already doing little talking different things here with my company and things, but I was like, this is what I want to do.
Mm.
So then I started reaching out to other high schools, and now I should be San Diego High School. I also speak at, it's called FIT.
Mm.
What it is, at the local high schools, there's a curriculum for the hotel restaurant management division in the schools, and I go
Wow.
down and I teach the kids how to land a job, do the interview, resumes, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's about a 3 or 4 hour program that we do at the schools, and I do that also. And then was I'm in San Diego High School probably 2 or 3 months ago. I asked the director of the hotel restaurant management division. I said, "Hey, do you guys have a special ed division?" He was like, "Yeah, we have a special ed division." I said, "Can you get me the contact?" And so he got me the contact. I set up a meeting. I went down to Starbucks and sat down with the head of that, and she said she oversees 3 schools in San Diego area.
Wow.
They set me up to come out in a couple weeks to speak at San Diego High School, and then they want me to
Mm.
come back in April to do 2 45-minute sessions for the special ed students in San Diego area. So
Man.
it's just been one thing after another, and then I'm speaking in other places. And hey,
Mm.
I heard you earlier that you were in Toastmasters. I run
Yes.
Toastmasters often,
Yes.
and I speak
Yes.
a lot of Toastmasters. So I remember that's awesome. Toastmasters
Dude,
is awesome,
it
but
is, man.
that's what it do, man. It's starting off right now, and it's starting to blow up, and I'm really excited. Really excited to continue and get out there with those kids, because my motto is changing the world one kid at a time,
Yeah.
and those kids need a voice, and I want to be that voice for those kids.
Mm. So powerful, man. I'm curious. Like, there's a lot of entrepreneurs and speakers who tune into the show, who have a message. And what do you think it is about your approach that had you be successful, that had you be able to land gigs and be able to go speak? Like, what do you think it is that helps you get your foot in the door for something like that?
Do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. That's one of the things. One of my But one of my worst things is I'm working on a lot of things, but
Yeah.
procrastination, man,
Mm.
that's still one of my things I'm working on. But I've gotten so much better at it. It's like, just do it, dude. Just do it.
Yeah.
You got, you, like I said, hey, do you guys have a special ed division?
Mm.
Who's in charge? And you
Yeah.
ask, and
Yeah.
you go out there and do it. And like I said, it took me a while. I was afraid. Who am I going to call? Who do I get in contact with? And are they gonna say no? Are they gonna do all these things? Right?
Right.
Just do it, man. You have to do it. And Stephen Dela Cruz, that's on the line there,
Yeah.
he's my coach, and that was another thing. It's like, I do everything, dude. I read affirmations, what
Mm.
I'm thankful for. I read all the books, 38 of them this year alone, 39 this year alone. I
Dang,
go
bro.
to all the seminars, all the masterminds,
Wow.
and I do everything. And I'm like, I don't need a stinking coach. It's like, I don't need a coach. And it's like, I'm not gonna pay for a coach. But everybody has a coach. You look
Yeah.
around, all the athletes, all the singers, the
Yeah.
stars, they have coaches. And it's like, your teacher's a coach, your
Mm.
boss is a coach. So I was like, that was the missing link.
Mm.
And I said, I'm gonna get a coach. And it's like, you get a coach and you just freaking do it, man. You have
Mm.
to go out there and do it. You can't sit on your ass and think it's gonna happen to you. You can't procrastinate. You can't say shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Mm.
You need to do. You do too much shoulda, you're gonna should all over yourself. And it's
Yep.
like, you can't do that, man. You have to just do it.
That's right, man. That's right. So, getting back into the curriculum, what's your big focus? You teach these kids. Is it the genius? You teach them how to recognize their gifts, their values, what is their special thing that they can do better than anyone else? Like, what would you say is the big focus that you're teaching the special ed kids?
That's a direction that I want to go into, is that it is bringing out the genius in them, because
Yeah.
these kids, like I said, are being told that they can't be successful because of their grades.
Hmm.
And it's wrong, and
Mhm.
and so many people have proved it out there. I'm one of them. I mean, I proved it. I proved so many people wrong. Very successful in my career, and now successful in speaking and coaching. And that's the direction I want to go into. It's like, you just teach these kids that it's in there, but
Hmm.
what is it? What is it, right?
Right.
And you just need to talk to them, ask them,
Yeah.
what do you love to do?
Hmm.
What is you passionate about? fires you up?
Yeah.
Is it music? Is it art? Is it whatever, man? You
Mm.
got to find what that is, and then teach them how to light that on fire.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key, man, is like find out what it is
Mm.
and then teach them how to do it. And it just basically, I just do it by give examples of what I went through,
Mm.
my past history, and I use examples. You know, when I talk to the kids, I always use examples. You know, one of my big examples is, Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
right? You know, he was interviewed at around 18, 19 years old, and he said, "Nobody believes in me. Nobody listens to me. I'm gonna be in the UFC someday. I'm gonna
Mm.
be the champ of the UFC someday." And everybody laughed at him and said, "There's no way." And you know what? He went out and did it. And so I use examples like that for the kids. I use
Mm.
myself as an example, then I use people like that. Rocky,
Yeah.
how did that come about? That movie, I use that in my presentation. I'm like,
Mm.
and ask kids, everybody heard of Sylvester Stallone, and they all say,
Mm.
yeah. I said, you guys know how Rocky started? And most of them say no, and I give them the story how Rocky
Yeah.
started. He took no for an answer. Nobody wanted that damn movie, right? They was like, he slam doors in his face all over
Yeah.
the place. And then one day somebody said, okay, we'll take it. And he said, well, I'm Rocky. And they're like, you're not Rocky. What's wrong with you? You can't speak. How are you going to be Rocky? You can't act. And he was like, then I'm taking my movie. And they were like,
Yeah.
no. Okay. So, and then stories, and then look at them now, and
Mm.
that's what I do. I teach, I show these kids what's possible because people have done it. Les Brown,
Mm.
he's like, he's one of my mentors, Les Brown. And I have a goal to see this guy in person. I
Yes.
see his books and his tapes.
Yes.
And he had the same thing I did. He was told he was stupid.
Mm.
And he didn't listen to people. He listened for a long time because it took him forever to finally, get over that hump of
Right.
limiting belief that he had. But man, now he's like one of the top guys out there in history.
Mm.
And man, he's up there with the best of them. And I use him as an example. It's just, you got to find those things that are going to set the spark. And I try to give different examples in different genres, you know what I mean? Different niches.
Yeah.
So maybe these kids would understand sports, music. I give example of music people. And just one of them should resonate with those kids. That's why I ask them, what you do? Well, I like music. Then I'll give an example of a music person.
Yeah.
Or I love movies. And craziest
Mm.
thing, people love video games now, and
Yep.
it's like, it's a genius, right? I mean, I met a guy, his name is Steven, I can't remember his last name. He's in my mastermind,
Yeah.
and he works for Sony and video games, and he loves it, dude.
Yeah.
That was his genius. He found his genius, and he just loves it, and that's the key. You got to love what you do, and and most people out there hate their job,
Yeah.
hate their job. Probably I think this is like 80 something percent, 87%. I think is what it is, that people hate to get up every morning and go to their job. I love getting up every morning, going to my job, and I love getting up every morning and helping people and changing people's lives. It's just, it's amazing to be able to do what we do and love it and change people's lives. Right? It's awesome, awesome.
That's powerful, man. I love it. I hear your passion. I was going to ask, what do you think is your secret sauce that has you be effective with these kids? But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's, asking them the questions of what are you passionate about? So that they're generating the conversation, they're generating what is their genius, and then you get to teach them how to light that on fire, so to speak, which is giving them other examples of people who've done like near impossible things, or people said you can't do that. And so it's like they believe in themselves, and then you just plant that seed and you give it some water, you give it some fertilizer, and then you empower them to keep taking steps with it, keep taking actions with it to grow that into something that can really carry them through life. Would you say that's accurate?
That's right on accurate, and I'm glad you said the thing about the seed in the water, because I did a talk that everybody is a sunflower seed, and it's an ugly gray and brown shell, and what do people do with it? They pop it in their mouths and spit it out, and
Yeah.
you are the sunflower seed, and as you listen to people tell you you're dumb, you're stupid, you're fat, you're ugly, you listen to all these labels that people put on you, and you stay that ugly little shell because you allow the people to keep you there. But if you put that shell in the soil and you water it and you give it good things, which is, you can succeed, you are great, you are beautiful, you can do it, and you keep watering it, and next thing you know, it's a beautiful sunflower. And that's the key, man. But
You know,
most people listen to that. You're that ugly seed. You're that
yeah.
ugly, ugly shell. But you have to don't listen to that, man. That's
I love this because it totally it makes me think of people who play small. They play small in life, and so what they do is they stay inside of that shell for their entire life, never expanding outside of their comfort zone of the shell. The shell is their protective, negative cynicism, their 9 to 5 job that they're comfortably
yep.
miserable in, whatever that is. It's like the shell, and the people who are courageous enough to break out of their shell to go against the resistance, to break free, and to kind of even expose themselves, expose the seed inside of the seed, right? The actual
Yep. Yep.
kernel. And so that is what will generate the flower, what will generate the beauty, the magnificence, the gift from that is by being willing to expose ourselves and grow.
That comfort zone, man.
Yeah.
Everything you own right now, everything you have right now inside that comfort zone, that's your comfort zone.
Yep.
Your house that you're in, the car you drive, the
Yeah.
job you have is inside that circle. Now, the
Mm.
things that you want are outside that comfort zone. And you're going
Totally.
to have to go through that comfort zone if you want to get them. And
Mm.
that's the thing. Most people they stay comfort. They can't, I can't do it. I'm scared. And they'll never get outside that circle.
Yeah.
That's the key, man. They just stay stuck in that shell.
Mm.
And like you said, when it's pretty easy, just crack that sucker and step out, man.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, it's like it's being willing to do that. It's like being willing to face whatever comes your way. I think a lot of people have the fear that they won't be enough. They won't be enough. They won't be capable. They won't have the capacity to handle it. And like, we're human beings. We're so adaptable. We're so moldable. We're so versatile. So we're so resilient that anything that comes our way, we can handle it. I think that's something that also young kids really need to hear, is that, like, listen, you're probably going to fail whether you like it or not. You are going to fail. you're going to experience challenges and difficulties and breakdowns and failures and setbacks. So you might as well do it going for something that you really are passionate about and love, or at least commit to that process, dedicate yourself, discipline yourself to discovering what is that purpose, because either way it's going to happen.
Yeah, you're gonna get knocked down. And Les Brown says, if you get knocked down, try to land on your back, because if you land on your back, you can look up, you can get up.
Yep.
And that's the key, because life will beat you up, man. Life will beat you up if you let it. But the thing is, you just got to keep moving forward. You just got to keep moving forward, and that's the key, because it is tough out there, and it's easy to give up. It's really easy to give up, but you have to fight through it. Especially, that's why you need to find what you're passionate about, because that'll help you get what's your why, right? Why are you doing this? That's the key. What's your why? And it'll help you get through those tough times. It'll help you break through those bad days, those tough years, because we all have them. And most people, can't break through it.
Right. And I love how you said that, just like to keep going. Life will beat you up if you let it, but if you stay focused on the positive, if you stay focused on your goal, then it's not going to be like you're stuck there forever. You're not going to keep getting beat up and kicked on the ground while you're down. No, you're going to get up. You're going to keep attacking. You're going to, block. You're going to learn new moves. You're going to gain wisdom. Yeah. You're going to have the experience to not be able to get knocked down the same way. Yeah, you're going to get knocked down different ways. That's part of growing. For every level, there's quote unquote a new devil. There's a new adversary. There's a new challenge. There's a new obstacle that you get to break through. That's life. What are you going to do? What are you going to choose? Stay comfortable in your little cave, or are you going to take on life and rise to that occasion every single time, and also experience the gifts and the rewards and the freedom and the fulfillment that come from taking on a bigger challenge, something bigger than yourself, a purpose,
Yeah, it's the fear is what keeps people back, and like when I started this journey of speaking and the dream that I have to change kids' lives, I was scared, man. My first Facebook Live, my first time speaking in front of the kids, I was scared. Is anybody going to listen to me? Is anybody going to watch the video? Is anybody going to do all this kind of stuff, right? And still today, even though when I start doing videos or talking to people like that, before I get up there, I'm like, it takes me 10, 15 minutes before I press play, because I'm like, nobody's going to listen, nobody's going to watch. But you just have to break through that wall, man. And that's where the joy is.
Yeah.
It's the journey that you go on, and the good and the bad.
Mm.
That's where the happiness comes in.
Yeah.
It's not reaching that goal. It's not like getting what you want. It's the journey along the way,
Mm.
and you're gonna get bumps and bruises, and that's the joy in it, man. It's the journey, what you learn, what you get out of it. It's
Yeah.
just it's so much joy. People stay in that fear, and they don't understand.
Mm.
Open that door, man, and your thing is just an inch away from you.
Yep.
The thing that you want.
Yep.
Step through.
Yep.
There's where the joy is, man. There's where the
Uh,
joy is, and
yeah.
it just won't open that door.
Mm. Yeah. And you know what I also hear you saying is like contrast, like the joy is in the contrast. Like if you're just like always happy all the time, if everything's all hunky dory and comfortable like all the time, then that's not a fulfilling life. Like it's important to have the journey of life, not to have things, sparkly and roses all the time, but to see when life, like kicks you while you're down. What are you going to do
Yeah.
about it? You're going to complain, you're going to stay down, you're going to let it keep kicking you, you're going to get up and you're going to fight, and you're going to stand up for what you believe in, and commit yourself to the process of becoming better, so the same thing doesn't keep you stuck or in that place.
I don't want to be 80 years old on my deathbed sitting there
Mm.
and saying I shoulda, I
No.
coulda.
No.
I don't. I want to, and that's the thing is like I'll die trying.
Yeah.
If I don't succeed, it's like I said, it's the journey,
Yeah.
and at least I tried. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing, because you don't always succeed in everything you do.
Mm.
You don't always hit all your goals, but you got to try.
Yeah.
And it's better to try, because you don't want to have regrets down the road and be sitting there, your family's around your bed, and you're sitting there saying, I wish I would have done more
Mm.
for people and for myself and for society. And I guarantee you, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that,
Yeah.
and it's sad. And I don't want to be one of those people.
Yeah. Early on in your journey, you mentioned like people are thanking you still today from things that you were doing back then. I want to dive into a little bit more about like who you were being in those early stages that had you build that reputation, that had you influence people. How did you grow in your success in business? Tell us a little bit more about that middle part of your journey.
I would have to put everything back to my dad. You
Mm.
know, my parents were incredible parents through something I didn't mention when I was in high school. Not only top of being labeled with a learning disability, I had a teenage pregnancy. I had a baby at
Mm.
17.
Wow.
That was difficult too, because now I am too stupid to take care of myself. How am I going to take care of a family?
Wow.
And so that was tough. But I had great parents that supported me through that whole thing. And my dad is the one that basically, he got me to, one of the things that always stuck with me. He told me to do. He's like, in business, when you're the boss,
Mm.
get your employees to do job because they want to do it, not because they have to do it.
Nice.
And that's where the EQ comes in. That's where the emotional intelligence.
Mm.
And I'm not the smartest guy in the company. I'm not the smartest guy in most places I've worked at,
Mm.
but I connect with people, and that's where I found out, because I was always asked, Gerald, what's your secret? Why are you always hitting the numbers? Why are you always the top of the company? And I never knew what to say. Um, but I figured it out. It's how I treat people. I know people,
Mm.
and I'm able to understand on everybody's different level. I'm
Mm.
not here and they're here. We're here. I
Mm.
learn from the bottom person just as I learned from the top person.
Mm.
And my dad taught me that, and the same thing is the glass is half full, not half empty.
Mm.
And be grateful for everything you had. And I just instill that when I talk to people, when I manage people, when I develop people. And that's been the key, is just that I care about people.
Mm.
And everywhere I go, always have. And I show that. I mean, I'll get out there and work side by side with you, even though I might be your boss or above you or whatever. And I never play that card. I never
Mm.
played that I'm better than you card. Never.
Mm.
I've never done that. Um, or I'm your boss, you have to do it. It's no, let's do it together. It's a we thing, not an I thing with me. And I think that's been the key.
Yeah, it's powerful, man. I'm curious, dude. What was it that had you get so, full of emotion, full of sentiment right there? What was the thing that really moved you?
Um, just my parents, my dad and that they stuck with me through those tough times,
Yeah.
when, having a baby at such a young age,
Mm,
and most people tell you your life's over, right? And a lot of kids get kicked out of their house when that stuff happens to them, or they
yeah.
get disowned or whatever. And my parents, stuck with me,
Mm,
and 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 that bad thing that happened, which isn't bad, you know what I
mm,
mean? People tell you it is, but that and being labeled, what I was is actually what made me the man I am today. So that's what it is. Just thinking about that, thinking about my firstborn son, and that, and my dad. That's what did it.
mm. I think that there's times, and this might be similar for you. There's times when I like look back at the journey and like how much I suffered, at those points in time, and there was so much like raw emotion and difficult times, and I almost have like it brings tears to my eyes because of what I had to go through to get to where I am today. But there's also on the flip side of that, there's so much pride in who I am and who I got to be. And I think it's similar for you, like it was difficult, and you also have so much pride for yourself, so much pride for your dad, and so much love and like gratitude for yourself for getting through that, for growing through that, for your dad for standing right there by your side. Because I know that's how I feel like for my younger
Yeah,
self, and like there's just those moments where it hits you like, holy crap, like I can't believe my life.
yeah, yeah. I'm the same way, man. Because especially from a kid that was told you wouldn't amount to
Yeah.
much, and I've had an incredible life, and it's just going up, that's amazing, and it's because of the people that have been in my life supporting me and helping me,
Mm.
and just everybody. It's that's what it is, man. It's tough. I've had an incredible run, incredible life, and it just get better and better.
That's right, man. We're
And
just getting
I want
started,
that. I
baby.
want that. Just getting started, man. I want that for other. I want that for other. I want that for other people, because there's a lot of those kids out there don't have the
Mm.
family support I had.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky, very, very lucky, and still am. And my parents are 80; they'll be 81 beginning of next year, and
Mm.
very blessed to still have them, and
Wow.
blessed to be who I am because of it, and the support I've had along the way. It's amazing. It's amazing. And
Yeah.
not everybody has that, and I want to be that father maybe somebody didn't have, or that big brother somebody didn't have.
Yeah. And you mentioned about like that emotional intelligence and being able to connect with people, especially in your journey. How did you really develop that ability like early on? How can we develop our own emotional awareness and EQ to really operate out of our genius?
That's a tough question,
Mm.
because I really don't know where it came from. I just, well, I think just how I was raised. I don't know. I've always been the one all through school and adulthood, that the misfits, in
Yeah.
society, that people that label, they always were drawn to me for some
Mm.
reason.
Mm.
Uh, the s- handicapped kids, the
Yeah.
maybe the nerds, maybe the ones that were outcast, the not very smart ones, were for some reason were always drawn to me,
Mm.
and I always accepted them. I never bullied people. I never was like, "Oh, I'm better than you," or
Mm.
"Stay away from me, you weirdo." And even in my career and over my working time, same thing. I've had employees of mine that other managers are like, "Can't stand her. She's a weirdo. She's this. She's that." And those are some of the people that still call me and still text me and email
Mm.
me today saying, "How you doing, Gerald? I miss you." And it's
Mm.
because I see everybody the same. Doesn't
Mm.
matter color, skin, doesn't matter. You're smart, dumb, whatever, handicapped, not handicapped. I
Mm.
see everybody the same, and I think that's the key. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And it's I can't pinpoint it to one thing in my life that did that for me, because I've always done that all the way from grade school all the
Mm.
way up, and maybe because I was one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or told I was one of them, and so it just, I didn't like being bullied. I didn't like being made fun of, and then I saw the pain. I went through the pain, so I saw the pain in them, and I was like, and I'm not going to treat people like that. And they just have drawn to me, man. I can't explain it.
Wow. So, if we could cultivate that in our own life, what would you say are some actions, some daily or weekly or monthly actions to create more compassion, more equality in our own lives for ourselves and for others?
Don't see people what they are, see them what they can be.
Mm.
As simple as that. Don't see people where they are, what they can be. Doesn't matter if they have a handicap or what it is. Uh, you don't know what's inside of them.
Mm.
And the key is that if you treat them a certain way, that thing inside of them may never come out.
Mm.
So don't see people where they are. See them where they could go, and help them get there. That's what I do. It's just that I think that's the secret. And uh, stop labeling. You know, what I say is that, there's so many labels out there. I use the special ed label, but there's the special needs label, there's the handicap labels, there's the fat, short, whatever. You know what I mean? And there should only be one label, and that's the human label, and that's it.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, man. It's powerful. I love it, Coach G. This is fire, man. I want to dive into if there's anything else that we really need to know to cultivate our genius, to really step into our gifts. Anything else you'd recommend as a mindset shift or exercises that we can do to do that?
Everything is mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the key. That's the key to everything. That's the whole shift. And if people understand that, that's the key to getting out of that shell. That's the key to getting out of that comfort zone circle. It is in the mind. You have to, but the thing is, you have to do the work. It's not going to just happen. You have to read the books. Okay. You have to. I had a goal this year to read one book a month, because somebody told me, if you read one book a month in the field that you want to develop, in 5 years, you'll be an expert in that field.
Yep.
So learning disability, guy that can't read very well, right? I was like, one book, that's going to be tough. So then it ended up being 2, then it ended up being 3, and I'm on number 39 for the year.
That's amazing.
Actually, this is my 39 right here.
Yes.
And it already got 40 and 41 lined up, and my goal changed over the year, right?
Wow.
And now it's like, okay, 40 before the end of the year. So that's one. You need to read. You need to get mentors. You have to get a mentor or a coach, somebody that's wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
They're already there. Freaking listen to them so you get there. So you need those 2 things for sure. Go to the seminars. Go to the masterminds. A lot of people, what is a mastermind? People don't understand. Well, it's 2, 3, 4 and up people with the same mindset, want to go in the same direction, that are helping each other get there. Right. And you need to do all that. So I think those are the keys, man. It's educating yourself. And it doesn't necessarily mean going to college or whatever, which I'm not knocking that, but educate yourself. Find where you want to go. Find somebody that's already been there and done that, and follow them. And that would be that'll be the key to it, man. That's what I'm doing. I've gone to so many seminars and trainings and web things online and books and everything, and listen to all the top guys out there in my field that I'm in, speaking, and I've listened to all the top guys, and just do what they're doing, and that's what I would say to people. Those 3 things are key. Number 1 is mindset. Change your mind, dude. Change your mind, change your life.
That's right. Coach G, what do you want to be acknowledged for?
I want to be acknowledged for, my thing is like just changing one life, changing one kid's life is enough for me. Because that kid could grow up to be the president. That kid could grow up to be that cures cancer. So it doesn't have to be millions or thousands of lives, even though that I think I'm going to impact thousands, if not millions of lives.
Yeah.
If I die and it's one kid, change one kid's life
Yeah.
that grows up to be something incredible
Mhm.
and just reach their dreams, man. That's I want to be known for, bringing value to the world
Mhm.
and changing at least one person's life, man. That's all that matters to me.
Well, Coach G, I acknowledge the heck out of you, man, because you've changed many more people's lives than just one. And you're
Thank
changing
you.
people's lives by being here. You're impacting my life. You are absolutely an inspiration, man. I so acknowledge you for having the courage to break through any kind of resistance, any kind of doubt, any kind of negative self-talk that anybody put over you or put into your life, told you that you couldn't do it. Bullshit.
That's right.
You're so much more powerful than anything anyone says about you. And I really
Thank
acknowledge
you.
you for owning that strength and that power that you have in you. And you inspire people all the time with it. And you will continue doing that, reaching thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of people because of who you are and how you're showing up in the world, man. So I really acknowledge you for being a product of the product, walking, talking billboard of, if you set your mind to something, if you stay in your genius, if you choose to focus on your purpose, you can live an amazing life. You are absolutely doing that and inspiring kids all over the world, man, already. So thank you so much.
Thank you, my twin brother from another mother. Chris, it was awesome, man. I appreciate you giving me the time to tell a little bit about my story. I appreciate what you're doing. You're changing people's lives, man. What you're doing is incredible. Keep doing your thing, man. And the key out there, guys, is that you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That there's no other secret sauce or anything.
Mm.
People tell you all this stuff. No, the secret sauce is you have to believe in yourself.
Yes.
And that's the key. That's it. You don't listen to anybody else. Nobody. Your parents.
That's right. That's
Crew
right.
members. Nobody. You listen
right.
to yourself, and that is the key.
That's
And
right.
Chris, you're the man. You're
Thank
the
you,
man,
brother.
and you're changed many people's lives. I know, and over 400 people you have interviewed, man.
Yes.
That is amazing, amazing, dude. And I
Just
don't
the
know.
beginning,
I've been
baby.
watching you
Just
all.
the beginning.
Hey, I've been watching you all day today, man, and I don't know how the hell you're still up. And dude, you're incredible, man. You're like a machine. And you're just going and going. So you inspire me, man.
Thank you,
I mean,
brother.
I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to sit there and be able to do that and just change people's life, change people's life, change people's life. And I ain't freaking sleeping. Change people's life, man. Dude, I'm telling you, you were awesome, man.
Thank
You were
you.
awesome. I'm sitting there shaking my head all day going, this dude, man, this dude is just like nonstop, man. Incredible, man. That's why I asked you what you were drinking. I was like, what you drinking, man? Amazing, dude. I'm telling you. Amazing.
Thank you.
I
Thank you, man.
appreciate you from my heart, dude. From my
I
heart.
appreciate you too, man. I love you. And I know our audience wants to stay connected with you. They want to keep learning and growing with you. So how do they do that, man? What's next for you and how can they stay connected?
Well, right now I'm on Facebook. I'm working on my website and stuff to get things up and running.
Cool.
My email is my last name, Eldred, Eldred, Gerald, Gerald, at iCloud.com. So they can reach me there for now and look for my website and stuff down the road. And man, it just more Facebook Live. See me on YouTube soon, and just going out there and doing my thing. And I'll be speaking on big stages, and I'm already speaking on stages now. But I'll be speaking on big stages, and guarantee
Right.
you guys will see me out there. I'm gonna be rocking the world, and it's because of people like you, man. It's because of people like you and the inspiration, man. You really bring it, and I appreciate that, and I thank you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And keep shining your light. Keep spreading your gifts, man. Have the best week ever. And we'll see you soon, okay?
Well, yeah, shining light always. People can't miss me, man.
That's right, baby. That's right.
You got it, man.
Awesome. I'll see you soon, Coach G.
Take it.